Please, the way to the antenatal clinic.
Yes, it's just over there, sister, but careful of the steps in your condition.
Thank you.
I got a bus to catch, but I think this might be worth waiting for.
Oh dear, you do look familiar. Now the light is on. I think actually you might be the man that got me into this condition in the first place.
You might be right.
Here, take a seat there, me lover.
Oh dear.
You look nervous.
I am.
Is it your first?
Well, yes, is it obvious? I asked for oral contraception, but what I got was an immaculate conception.
Don't worry about it, sister. I've had loads.
Oh, have you? Are you a woman of the world?
Well, you could say that.
Would you give me some advice, please?
Certainly, sister.
Could you tell me, when will the baby move?
Well, in my experience, a baby will move at about 18
weeks.
No, love. About 18 years. But if he ain't gone by the time he's 20, you can just pack his bags and kick him out.
I'm not worried about the labour. Oh, I'm going to have every drug available. Can't wait. What I am worried about is what to call the baby if it's a boy. I spent hours. So I've decided now on David, Declan, Donahan, Danny Boy, Dunleary. Keep it simple.
And what if it's a girl?
Oh, that's easy. I'm going to call her after me mammy.
Oh, that's nice. What's her name?
Mammy.
You can't be too careful with the names, you know. When I was having this little fella, a chap came round, said my friend Bridget was obsessed with money, wanted to call her daughter Penny. Said Thelma was obsessed with alcohol, wanted to call her daughter Sherry.
What you going to call that one then?
Oh, it's Dick.
I don't let all that rubbish bother me. I've had 9 kids and I calls them all the same. I shouts Joe and they'd all come running.
What if you just want one?
Oh, that's all right, me lover. I just uses their surnames.
Who could possibly have conceived that act? Perhaps it should have been aborted. Guess worse than that. No! The magical minstrelsy and the mercurial musicianship of the inimitable, the incomparable, and the absolutely indispensable Mr. Graham Harding.
Thank you. You all enjoy the Olympics?
Yep.
Who turned out to go and see the torch? Yeah. It was lovely and sunny when I saw it, but our vicar, he really took it to heart, he did. He watched all the Olympic... He went out and bought himself a bike, and he'd been busy riding it all round the parish. And then one morning he got up, and he was heartbroken, his bike had gone.
Oh.
Thank you. And he said, this is terrible, he said, I am going to write the best sermon I have ever written. And I am going to deliver it on Sunday with special emphasis on thou shalt not steal. So there he is up in the pulpit shouting fire and brimstone. And when he got to the commandment about thou shalt not commit adultery, he remembered where he left his bike. Now, you're very lucky tonight. You're very lucky tonight because you're going to get a choice. You can either have Fan Like Fanny, or you can have Auntie Maggie. Now, hands up for Auntie Maggie. That's one. 2. Hands up for Fan Like Fanny. Oh, most of you. Looks like you're going to get her. Up the West End, that's the best end, where the nightclubs thrive. Down into a dive you go. There's a jazz queen, she's a has-been, Lord knows what. Every night she's there on show. She dances underneath a magic spell. She's full of charm and beer and stout as well. She's 66 but looks 16. Her friends don't know her now, her face is clean. The fan like Fanny, the frowsy nightclub queen. See her glide around the floor, then glide around into the pub next door. Fan like Fanny, the frowsy nightclub queen. She looks well in the line, a queen all the time. You get your money's worth. By day you'd say it's the second time on earth. Every morn at break of day they call for the enters in, they cart away. Fan like Fanny, the frowsy nightclub queen. By cops she's followed, and when she's collared the judge she always cheats. Twice a month, 2 weeks she'll do. She's often boasted, she's been toasted by her friends. She ought to be cremated too. You can't tell if she's brunette or a blonde. She's like something you drag out of a pond. Now she's a peach, but understand she's called a peach because she's always canned. A fan like Fanny, the frowsy nightclub queen. When she's dressed, she's like Mae West. She wears 6 saucepans upon her chest. Fan like Fanny, the frowsy nightclub queen. She looks well in the line, the queen all the time. You get your money's worth. By day you'd say it's the second time on earth. Every morn at break of day they call for the enters and they cart away. Fan like Fanny, the frowsy nightclub queen.
Graham Harding, who, needless to say, is and has been a professional entertainer, and we are so delighted that he's joined us here at the Woodlanders. Now, last year we met 3 nuns who confessed some, if not all, of their bad habits. An opportunity now to see whether they have been cured of their addictions and reformed, or whether in fact matters have gone from bad to worse. The clues in the next 2 or 3 lines as we meet them this year at Clouds in the Rehab Clinic.
Oh, it's lovely to see you again, Reverend Mother Brandy. Oh, and Sister Ann Summers too.
Sister Virginia, Sister Anne, how are you both?
Well, I'm very well actually, considering. But I must say, I'm finding this rehabilitation regime a trifle testing. How are you getting on, giving up the evil weed?
Oh, constant cravings, Sister, constant cravings. Lord, I could do with a puff.
God, I could do with a drink.
Christ, I could do with a man.
How do you solve a problem like addiction?
How do you stop the fire in the blood?
How do you solve a problem like addiction? A bucket of 20,
A barrel of bitter.
a stud.
How do you get me coming off the ciggies? How do you get me off the nicotine? Oh, how I miss a fag. Abstinence is a drag. If I can't light up, I'll think I'll scream.
How do I solve the problem of my drinking? How do I stop relying on the booze? Oh, how I miss the beer, the lager and good cheer. This giving up is giving me the blues.
How do I solve a problem like addiction? How do I give up liking getting laid? It's such a filthy habit, performing with my rabbit. How do you solve a problem like addiction? How many nickel patches does it take?
I'm out of nicotine. I feel angry, I feel mean. And
aches and my liver it just aches. I have a migraine.
I'm no angel, I'm a mess.
When I'm lying in the hay reading 50 Shades of Grey, I'm frustrated and I cannot pray to plough.
I go mental, I go wild. I would love a pint of mild or a snifter.
Or a roller or a man. How do you solve a problem like addiction? How do you stop when giving up's a drag? How do you solve a problem like addiction? A lemon to
A
butler.
bottle of whiskey.
A shag!
How do you stop me flicking in me ashtray? How do you stop me sucking on me fag? I've forgotten the bloody words, I don't know what to do. But it's the taste of baccy that I like.
I quite like that I am not hungover, but I miss the chat around the bar. The glorious taste of Pimm's, of whiskey, stout and gin. This abstinence is taking it too far.
Many a time I've lain with legs akimbo, wondering if I'm doing the right thing. But celibacy is tough, I like it when it's rough. It's difficult when you're full of the joys of spring. How do you solve a problem like addiction?
When we miss all the pleasure that it brings.
Sister, I bet you can't give up the ciggies.
Oh, how much?
I say a pony, and I'll give you odds 2 to 1.
Well, show me where the bookies are, because I got a sure thing at the 3.20 at Catterick.
I bet you 20 quid that you're on your back before I'm back on the booze.
God, I hope so.
I won't be here next year. There we are, Debs, David, and Janie Bradfield, who of course produced the show this year and last year's show as well. We now welcome back our farmer friend, formerly from the Mendips, as witty, waggish, and wisecracking as ever. It is Mr. Trevor Hodenock.
I wanted to sing you a song tonight about my girlfriend. She's Frida, and she's a bit of a flirt, so we call her Flirty Frida. There's a chorus, and I know you like joining in with choruses. It's quite a long one, but do you reckon you could grab the last bit for me, which goes, keep out of me track, if these wanna come back, you can crawl, crawl, crawl. Do you reckon you can manage that?
Yeah, we can do that, come on.
Don't tell I Jim Johnson worked with A last night. I heard he as plain as could be. When crossing the mound, I heard a strange sound under the sycamore tree. I thought perhaps a cow had got stuck in the mud and pulled his foot out with a move. But I'm telling you now that the noise weren't the cow, it were Jim kissing you. You're a 5-foot flirt in the road of an angel, these better I'd leave I alone. By the way you're acting, it fairly unnerves I. Thing that preserves I is my joviality. Though I've got troubles as thick as the stubbles, 'tis you that's the worst of them all. Keep out of me track, if these wanna come back, you can crawl, crawl, crawl. God, it was a funny thing the way we met. I was in the market one day.
I hope it was Froome.
Oh, it was definitely Froome. I was in when it was in town, and you were the gaffer.
It was a long time ago.
So it's an old story, this one. And I was walking up the high street, and this thing seemed to fall out the sky. And I put my hand out, and I think I caught it. And I had a look at it. It were a glass eye. Well, where's that come from? And I looked up, and there was this lovely young damsel looking out of a window upstairs. I said, be this yours? She said, yeah, that's my glass eye. Could you bring it up for me, please? Oh, I thought, I suppose I can. I got a bit of time. So I trundled up the stairs, and she answered the door, and she were really pleased that I found her eye. She said, would you like to come on in? Have a cup of coffee, perhaps? Oh, I thought, I suppose I can. I got a few minutes. So I went on in, sat down, and she gave me a cup of coffee, and I were sipping away, and she disappeared off into the bedroom. Well, she were only gone a few minutes. Then she come out in one of the neggly things. Tell you what, it were only a few minutes later, we ended up in bed together. And I said to her, I said, do you always go to bed with strangers? She said, oh no, only with those young men who catch me eye, she said. Remember what happened last Saturday night? The air was so peaceful and still, when out of the blue come a hullabaloo, a growling and a cackling so shrill. It came to me head as I crawled from me bed, there's a fox at me chickens, 'tis true. I crept down in me socks and bumped into the fox. It were Jim kissing you. You my 5-foot flirt in the robes of an angel. These better I'd leave I alone. By the way I'm acting, it fairly unnerves I. Thing that preserves I is my joviality. Though I've got troubles as thick as the stubbles, 'tis you that's the worst of them all. Keep out of me track if these wanna come back. You can crow, crow, crow. Yeah, we've been together now for 20 years. And funny thing happened the other day. I couldn't find my truck keys. And I turned the kitchen upside down, went through all the drawers and the cupboards. I couldn't find them. And I thought, I'll even look in her private drawer. And that's a drawer that she said to me when we got together, you must never look in that drawer, that's my private drawer. Well, I even looked in there, and I couldn't find me keys. So I said to her a bit later on, I've been looking for me keys. In actual fact, they were down in me wellies because I had O in me pocket. But I said to her, I were hunting round the kitchen, and I've even opened up your private drawer. Oh, she went mad, she did. She said, you shouldn't look in there. Well, I said, it's too late now. I said, I couldn't understand what I found in there. I said, there was an egg tray with a couple of eggs in it. I said, what's all that about? Well, she's really annoyed she was, but she said, I suppose I shall have to confess to you now, she said. Those 2 eggs represent the number of times I've been unfaithful to you. Oh, I were disappointed. But then I thought, well, I'm an awkward old sod to live with. So I suppose a couple of times in 20 years, that's not too bad. I'll forgive her, that's not too bad. And then I said, what was that pile of money underneath the egg tray? What a notice there were. Well, she said, every time I'd get a full tray, I'd just sell them, and that's Remember what happened last Sunday in church? It fair turned the poor vicar grey. While the organist was rendering Lead Kindly Light, Jim Johnson kept pumping away. When all of a sudden when the organ stopped short, the vicar got into a stew. When he went round behind Tally, what did he find? He found Jim kissing you. You a 5-foot flirt in the road of an angel, these better I'd leave I alone. By the way you're acting, it barely unnerves I. Thing that preserves I is my joviality. Though I've got troubles as thick as the stubbles, 'tis you that's the worst of them all. Keep out of me track if these wanna come back. You can crawl, crawl, crawl.
Trevor, formerly from the Mendips, and he now travels all the way from the west of Wales to be with us here. Well, actually, it's the city, not the principality. An act fraught with danger, particularly for the hard of hearing. Verbal dexterity, ladies and gentlemen, a quintessential quintet of loquacious equivocation. What about that? Don't get a lot of that in Froome Carnival June, do we? Here we are, the fair game poulterers.
My husband is a keeper. He's a very busy man. I try to understand him and I help him all I can. But sometimes of an evening I feel a trifle dim, all alone and plucking pheasants when I'd rather pluck with him. I'm not a pheasant plucker, I'm the pheasant plucker's mate. I'm only plucking pheasants cause the pheasant plucker's late.
She's not a pheasant plucker, she's a pheasant plucker's mate. She's only plucking pheasants cause the pheasant plucker's late.
I'm not good at plucking pheasants. Pheasant plucking I get stuck. Some peasants find it pleasant. I'd much rather pluck a duck. But plucking geese is gorgeous. I can pluck a goose with ease. But pheasant plucking's torture because they haven't any grease. I'm not a pheasant plucker. He has gone out on the tiles. I've only plucked one pheasant and I'm sitting here with mine.
He's not a pheasant plucker, he has gone out on the tiles. He's only plucked one pheasant and he's sitting here with piles.
You have to pluck them fresh. If they're fresh, it's not unpleasant. I knew a man in Chapman-Slade could pluck a frozen pheasant. They say the village constable had pheasant plucking sessions with the vicar of a Sunday twixt the first and second lessons. I'm not a pheasant plucker, I'm the pheasant plucker's mum. I'm only plucking pheasants till the pheasant plucker comes.
She's only plucking pheasants till the pheasant plucker's mum. My good friend Godfrey's most adept, he's really got the knack. He likes to have a pheasant plucked before he hits the sack. I like to give a helping hand, I gather up the feathers. It's really only pheasant plucking keeps us paired together. I'm not a pheasant plucker, I'm a pheasant plucker's friend. And he's a pheasant plucker's friend. He's only plucking pheasants as a means unto an end.
My husband's in the forest, always banging with his gun. If he could hear my heartfelt cries, I'm sure that he would run. There's fluff in every cranny, and there's feathers up my nose, and I'm itching in the kitchen from my head down to my toes. I'm not the pheasant plucker, I'm the pheasant plucker's wife, and when we pluck together, it's a pheasant plucking life.
She's not a pheasant plucker, she's the pheasant plucker's wife, and when we pluck together, it's a pheasant plucking life.
rumoured that that particular number was sponsored by Paxo. I can't think why, can you? He's played beautifully for us all evening this evening, and not just this evening, but each night of the Woodlanders show this year. So an opportunity now just to settle back, relax, and enjoy a virtuoso performance from our musical director. Take it away, Sam. There we are. Our 16-year-old musical director. Take a bow. All too super us, we hope all too super, you wonderful people.
Seagulls! Get your seagulls here! Seagulls, only a £5. Get your seagulls here! Seagulls, just a £5.
I'll have one of your seagulls.
Oh, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Just cost you a £5, Gav.
There we are.
Proper job. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Oi!
What?
Where's my seagull?
That one up there.
Oh. Did you know they've taken gullible out of the English dictionary? An opportunity now for me on your and our behalf to thank so many people.
27 today. 27 today. 27 today.
Oi!
What?
27 what today?
Cost you a £5 to find out.
Who should I make the cheque payable to?
I'll take it.
I suppose you want cash, do you?
It goes a bit further these days. Thank you very much. 27 today.
27 what?
28 today.
Where we get to? Opportunity to thank, on everybody's behalf, all the people who worked so very hard behind the scenes to make this what we hope you will have found to have been an enjoyable evening. Far too numerous to mention individually, but there are many, many of them, and they are the real, true, unsung heroes of the Woodlanders. And, of course, all of the artists on the stage, whether they've done individual acts in the chorus or whatever, we're deeply grateful to all of them. But in particular, to you for being such a magnificent audience, because we could tell by the assiduity of your attention and the amplitude of your applause, you have been incontestably by far, far and away the finest audience we've had. Yay! Well, tonight, anyway. You've been fantastic. We only hope you've enjoyed the show half as much as we've enjoyed entertaining such a wonderful Friday night audience as yourselves. And so, to ring down the curtain on the show, will you please welcome back for the last time this evening, the Woodlanders.
The sun has got his hat on, hip 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 hooray! The sun has got his hat on and he's coming out today. Now we'll all be happy, hip 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 hooray! The sun has got his hat on and he's coming out today. He's been roasting singing.